Mr. Martin, thank you for taking some time to speak with us today. I have a few questions for you to introduce yourself to our community and to share your thoughts for the rest of this year. Please share a little bit about yourself and why you chose Needham High School.
Hi, my name is Brian Martin. This is my first year working at Needham High School as the band director. I'm from Iowa originally, where I went to college for music education at the University of Northern Iowa with an emphasis in jazz studies. I taught at grades 5 through 12 band at a rural school, quite literally surrounded by farmland, called Interstate 35. I worked there for 3 years, named after the road that ran through the town. After that, I went to UMass Amherst to get my master's degree in jazz composition. Ended up looking for teaching jobs in both Massachusetts and Iowa. Ended up at my last job in Hingham at Derby Academy, where I worked for 6 years. And then last year, I saw that the Needham High School job was open, and thought, Needham, isn't that like one of like the really good music schools? I should see what happens. So I put in my application the day before it was due, and like any good procrastinator, and ended up this choice. So I ended up at Needham because it just seemed like a really wonderful place to work, and every step of the interview process made me feel more excited about the prospect of working here. And the one that made me the most excited was, of course, when I actually got to work with the students. For a couple classes, we ran a small jazz group and talked about improvisation, and then I conducted the concert band. And I had found that I was really missing working with high school age students. My previous job, I worked with grades 4 through 8, and I was very proud of the work that we accomplished there, but I was definitely missing the level of music that just an older student can achieve. So getting into that has been really, really great. I've really enjoyed it.
Can you tell us about the pieces chosen for this week's concert and how you chose them?
I looked at past programs to see the type of music that the bands had previously performed. And band music is rated on a scale from 1 to 6, or even 0.5 to 6, with 0.5 being for true beginners, they know 5 notes and 1 rhythm, to 6, which is these are your professional pieces. The concert band has historically performed music ranging anywhere from a 2.5 to a 4, and the symphonic band has performed music in the past from a 4 to a 6. So I was looking at the middle of both of those ranges. I was looking at 3s as a good starting place for the concert band, and I was looking at 5s for a good starting place for the symphonic band. The concert band music that we performed a piece called Into the Storm by Robert W. Smith, who is one of the titans of the band world, particularly through the 90s and early 2000s. I grew up playing a lot of his music when I was going through school that time. We performed a piece called Ummerland by Jacob DeHaan, which is just beautiful, and I've always wanted to have a band that could handle it, and now I did. And then Hosts of Freedom is a Carl King march, and Carl King being an Iowan and myself being an Iowan, played a lot of Carl King as a kid, and it's a really good march and it fit the band really well. Those 3 pieces I passed out, I think, on day 1 or day 1 and 2 of the year. They just seemed to be really good fits right away. So I really fell into a fairly easy time picking music for the concert band, and they responded really well to it. For the symphonic band, I was looking at, like I said, that semi-professional collegiate, advanced high school collegiate, early professional repertoire, and I ended up pulling mostly from music I performed in my university days during my freshman, sophomore year at university, where I pulled out a piece called Chester Overture, which is an arrangement of a Revolutionary War song. I did the Lucien Callier transcription of Elsa's Procession to the Cathedral, and we did a piece called Ponte Romano, which is a more modern piece. But having learned that the band program went on a music program, not just the band program, went on a tour to Italy, I wanted to find something that kind of leaned into that a little bit. So that piece is actually about Italy. And having gone on an Italian trip myself, when I was in college, again, I shared a lot of those kind of memories and that experience with what the students went through in April of this year. For the jazz ensemble, we read through about 12 different charts so far this year, and we had the students vote on their top 4. And that was the program we presented. We ended up doing music from the Thad Jones Library, the Duke Ellington Library, and the Count Basie Library, all 3 of which, they're 3 of the faces on the Mount Rushmore of jazz band. And then we ended up doing a chart that I wrote as our closer. So that was pretty fun to share my music with the kids as well.
What have the past few weeks been like preparing for this concert?
The past few weeks have been hectic. The students have worked really diligently and used their time fairly well, especially sectionals, which is new to me as a high school teacher. I wasn't in a program that did sectionals until I was in college, so I wasn't sure how that would look at the high school level. And the students here use that time fairly well. They need some guidance. They need some, it's like, hey, make sure we're getting back on task and all of that, which is to be expected. But for the most part, it was really good. I was really impressed the one time we sent concert band off to sectionals. They did a great job. One of the things that we've been running into was last week there was a chorus concert, and the week before that there was a strings concert, so we weren't able to get into the auditorium until both of those concerts had finished. So we had about a day and a half worth of rehearsals. One of the bands was able to rehearse twice in the auditorium. One of the bands just had the morning of to get used to the sound in the space. So that was challenging, trying to get used to the different setup. There's less room on stage than there is in our repurposed gym of a band room. So getting used to the logistics of it was probably the biggest challenge for me. But I had great colleagues with Dr. Vanderwood, Mr. Lee Clark, Ms. Mizzachi, Ms. Caterino, and others who really helped talk me through, here's how a concert at Needham works, here's how the kids arrange, the kids are used to doing this, the kids aren't used to doing this. So I was really well prepped for what the night looked like.
And how did you think last night's concert went?
I think the concert was spectacular. I've received nothing but very kind emails from parents, and several parents stopped me at the end of the night to say how much they enjoyed it. I think all 4 groups really represented themselves well, and I was most nervous for just my own speaking portion of the night, and the audience seemed to receive what I had to say really well. And the kids played as well as they ever do. So I was really, really pleased with how the night went, and I'm looking forward to putting on some more.
What are your goals for this year for each ensemble?
My goals are that the students love making music together. Anything else is just nice. I don't have an explicit goal. Like, I think some goals are like, oh, I want to win a trophy, or I want to do this thing. Like, my goal is that we love making music together. If we win a trophy for loving making music together, that's great. If we don't, that's not the point. So I think that the bands play well enough that I'm not too worried about a lack of hardware. But I would rather our success be a symptom of who we are rather than an explicit goal.
Mr. Martin, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.